everybody, this is Leslie, and I am going to work on part 2 of working on my Disney journal. I did do a lot of stuff off camera only because I'm going to input a couple of videos for people that I kind of learned certain things from, but as of right now, what I did was I did do my signatures, okay? So I picked my papers, picked how much I was going to put in. Now, what I did with this is I totally forgot, and as you will see, what happens when you're dealing with paper, see how it kind of rips? But I'm not worried about that because I'm going to be putting lace and different stuff on there, so I'm really not worried about that. But I wanted to put a closure on mine. So when I mean a closure, I mean I wanted to fold it over and put the clasp here so that it would close here. So what I did was I made 3 signatures, okay? And how I did this was, let me open them up for you. And the reason why I have them paper clipped is because I had to cut them with my X-Acto knife. But what I did was I went in, measured how much I needed for it to fit inside for when I actually sew it in. And as you can see, it fits absolutely perfectly. Okay, there you go. I think you can see it. And then what I do is I put the paper clips, binder clips, however you want to do it. You push the papers down to the bottom, and what you do is, let me move this off to the side, you put all 3 together. So you put the signatures with the papers where you wanted them. You lay it down, and then I use the clips that actually Amanda had sent to me. And hopefully I'm not showing cleavage here. Okay, and basically what I do is I put that over here, because you want it to be tight. Okay, and then what I do is I put my mat down, I take my knife, I measure with my ruler how far in I need to go. So what I did was I measured, it couldn't be any more than around 5 inches, okay? So then what I did was I measured, and this is just over 5 inches. And I take my ruler, I push down real hard, take my knife, and just keep going through, okay? Eventually you'll get through all the paper, and you'll get all these strips, which you can use in your journal as well. So, and don't throw those out because you can use them. Like I said, I'm probably going to use them in the journal. So you go all the way through. It's going to be ragged, it's going to be rough, but what you do then is you just take your scissor, and I also had to do the top because I had some of those long papers and stuff that I had made with the Kool-Aid dye. So those were sticking up at the top, so I did the same thing. I had moved these down, still keeping it tight. Ran the blade across there, took off that paper. That paper I didn't save. And then what you do is you just clean it up with your scissors. So if you see that there's any like pieces or anything hanging out, you just pull it, cut it. Don't forget, this is a junk journal. This is not something that is going into the Museum of Modern Art. So, okay. So I'm going to show you what I chose for my papers. So this is signature number 1. So this is going to be the first signature when you go in. So I chose the princess stuff first. So we're going to do that. I have this. I have a piece of the paper that I dyed. That piece of paper. I have this one. This is the tracing paper. I have that paper. And in the middle, I have the writing paper. So that is signature number 1. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 sheets of paper, so that gives me 16 per signature. Okay, and I'm going to put this back in. So that gives me 48 sheets of paper in here to journal in. Okay, so then this one has Tink on it. And I picked this color because I figured it would go with Tinkerbell. And see how it got a little cut there? I'm not worried about that. Then I have another piece of journaling paper. I have some roses. I'm probably going to put Belle on here for Beauty and the Beast. Tracing paper. Pink and orange polka dots. And I'm sorry, that's my computer. And then I have this page. See now, see how like these little pieces are kind of like torn and ripped? You can always just go in like I'm doing, even them up. I think I saw another one. And if they're a little ragged, just even it out. And then again in the middle, I have the Kool-Aid paper that I can journal on. Okay, then the last one is I have Winnie the Pooh. I have a piece of journaling paper. I have this paper. I have another piece of my dyed paper. Then I have that one, tracing paper, pink polka dots, some art paper in the middle, because I actually ran out of the writing paper, so I figured that would be perfect. So those are the 3 signatures. Okay. So now the next thing that you do is I have to make a template, and I'm going to use a regular piece of paper because now what I have to do is I have to put 3 sets of holes. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to measure this out, and if you have one of those Tim Holtz rulers where it's from the middle out, those are perfect. I don't have one of them. So basically what you do is you measure this out. So I have 9 inches. Okay, so let's see, 5, so 4.5 would be the mid range. So I'm going to put this in the middle as much as I possibly can. So 4.5 is basically the middle. So I'm putting a pencil mark here. Now don't forget, this can be erased. Don't worry about it. And then you're going to go in 1, 2, 3.5. 1, 2, 3.5. Okay, so I marked it at 1.5, 4.5, 7.5. And that should be good enough. Okay, so now I'm going to go over here again. I'm going to move this down a little. And again, I'm going to make my marks for because don't forget, you have 3 signatures, so you need to sew in 3 different signatures. All right. So now, again, I got to go over here. And now I just got to move these around because I'll show you when you do your template. You got to say what's the top and what's the bottom. Okay, that looks about straight. I do a lot of eyeballing because I do not like to measure. Okay. Okay, so as you see, I have 3 sets of holes in 3 different places. Okay, so what I am going to do now, and I got to get my thing here, get this out of the way. Let me turn this over. I'm sorry if I'm hitting the thing. Okay, here is my leather tool and all. So now basically what you're going to do is you're going to poke, you need an awl for this. You're going to poke a hole. And if it doesn't go all the way through, don't panic. You're just going to do it on the other side. And you got to put pressure. Just make sure you have something underneath. I've seen people use phone books. I just use my mat that I use for when I cut, and I don't have any problems with it. Okay. Okay, so I poked holes in those, and now as you can kind of see, you can see the holes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reinforce it. So I'm going to put this back through, but I'm not going to push really far because I don't want the holes to be really, really big. Now, if you're going to be using heavy duty, you know, like yarn or wax thread or, you know, whatever you're going to be using to sew in your signatures, you, of course, are going to make your holes according to, you know, that. But, okay. So my holes are done. And I just go in another time through the proper side. Okay. All right. Okay. So now what I have to do is I need to get a piece of paper. So I am going to be right back. Okay. So what I did was I took a piece of paper, okay, I laid it flat in here. I put paper clips to hold it down. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my awl again. Now I'm going to poke through here again, but now I need to make sure I go through that paper. So I'm just lifting it up with my fingers underneath, because don't forget, you don't have to go very hard. Okay. So now, as you can see, kind of, hopefully, I have a template. Okay. But now you have to make sure what's your top and what's your bottom. Okay. So this is going to be my top. So on the paper here, you're going to write top. This is bottom, because you want to make sure that the holes are going to match up when you go to sew in your signatures. Okay, so it's very important that you mark those top and bottom. So now I'm going to take this off. Okay. And again, what I do is, this I just take my pencil. I just go through the holes again. Just want to make sure they're all the way through. And they are. Okay. Alright, so next what we're going to do is, I'm not sure if I want to sew the signatures in. I think what I'm going to do this time around, I'm going to stop the video here. The next segment is actually going to be putting the embellishments and stuff on the actual signatures. And then after we do that, that'll be a segment. And then the next segment, I don't know, I'm trying to keep these videos short, so I might do a segment at a time, meaning a signature at a time. So maybe we'll decorate a signature at a time, and that'll be a part. So I think that's what I might do. So I'm going to end this here, and the next one we'll start decorating our signatures. Okay, so I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you again to my new subscribers. I have been feeling a little bit under the weather lately, and so I'm not sure how many videos I'm going to be able to get out in the next couple of days. I will be going on vacation in a week. I will be doing a staycation, so I am hoping that on my time off I will be able to finish this journal and maybe start a different journal. Okay, so stay tuned, and I will see you on my next video, and I hope everybody is well and have a great week. Take care, everybody.